What up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for all the support lately. We've officially hit over 2,000 subscribers here, which is absolutely amazing. Today, we have a very exciting video where we're going to be talking about the most, I guess you could say, lucrative cards to grade if you get it right. In these cases, you're going to be absolutely shocked by some of the multiplication, like some of the times you can multiply your money and value in a card if you get that PSA 10. Now, this is also not just for people who want to grade, it's also for you guys to get a sense of what raws might be going up, since one of the things before the Drowzee popped off in raw, I was saying it's undervalued compared to the PSA 10 price, right? And that was when it was at like 30 something. So, and more than doubled since then. So I think a lot of these cards, you could potentially see a similar thing. So yes, you're getting informed about PSA 10 prices. You're getting to see which cards could potentially grade really well if you have a mint perfect copy, and you're also seeing what raws could potentially go up, right? So it's going to be a very interesting video. If you guys like this kind of Pokemon investing stuff, make sure to like and subscribe. Again, everyone who did, I appreciate it very much. In less than 3 months, we got over 2,000 subscribers from scratch, right? So I really appreciate that. Here, I just want to give you a sense of old eras and how different Scarlet and Violet is. So the multiple here is only 2x for the Umbreon VMAX between an ungraded and a PSA 10. Why? Because, let me see here, the pop report should give us a hint. Yeah, so out of everything that was sent, you're way more likely to get PSA 10. Now, I do think down the line, the gem rate will get worse because a lot of people will be sending copies that have not been protected, and then eventually, these ones are going to grow. But as of right now, PSA 10 of the Moonbreon just crushes all other grades, right? So it was very easy, at least in the past, to get a PSA 10 of the Moonbreon because the print quality was good, right? So you only have a 2x multiple there. But I'm going to give you a more modern, iconic example to see maybe what a healthy multiple for, and it's up to you to decide what's a healthy multiple, what's not. But a possible healthy multiple example, because this card has been popular. It has had a lot of time to settle between its raw and the PSA 10 price. So it might be a sign of what we can expect multiples to be, or it could be a sign that, as we're going to see, because there's a lot of more crazy multiples in this list, that perhaps this PSA 10 is undervalued. But we'll get to that. So here we have 246, even recent sale 240, right, for a raw. And then we have 1,500 USD for a PSA 10, which gives us a multiple of just over 6. All right, so that gives you a sense exactly of what kind of healthy multiple in this era we could get. And also keep in mind that 20% of the Magikarp, that's about the gem rate, 20% of ones sent in got a PSA 10, which is obviously way, way, way worse than the Moonbreon, and that's going to be the case for a lot of these cards that we're going to be talking about in this list. So just keep that in mind. That's one of the reasons why these multiples are so high, and it's a big reason too. But guys, you guys know I haven't done any sponsorships on this channel. I got multiple offers already, but I didn't really want to promote anything that didn't really give you guys good value, and that's something I don't believe in. But I tried out a service recently, and I was impressed, and I do want to share with you guys. So, shout out to today's sponsor, Poke Notify. You might have heard him from other YouTubers, but the idea is that in this Discord, they monitor hundreds of sites in all regions globally, notifying you of the best deals in your area so you don't miss out in this insane bull market where it's hard to get your hands on anything. And offer a 3-day free trial, so you have really nothing to lose if you want to just give it a shot. There's a promo code for 25% off your first month if you use my promo code PIRATE. 25, PIRATE 25, and then I'll also keep the links in the description if you want to check that out. I personally used it to get my hands on the Kyogre tins, the Azure tins, for a cheap price. And I heard Poke Annie actually say that that was the fastest selling tins he's ever had. So I'm glad that I happened to get my hands on some at a good price. So yeah, I did use the service. I did like the service. I do recommend you guys check it out. Thank you again, Poke Notify, for sponsoring the channel. All right, back to the video. So we got Ralts, 34.75 in raw. And then if we're going off the most recent sales, the way I'm going to do it is I'm pretty much going to go for the high sale just to keep it a bit consistent. But yeah, these are all pretty recent sales. Some are dipping closer to 300, but I'm just going to use out of the visible recent sales, the highest ones, to be consistent with everything. So 355 USD. So we got there 355 divided by 34.75. And like I said, if you guys want to adjust accordingly for 305, you could do that with a calculator. And so you have a 10.2x multiple. This is not surprising at all for this card compared to some of the other cards we're going to see, because keep in mind, this has a very hard gem rate, a very low gem rate. It's only 14%, guys. That's the lowest I've seen out of all these cards. So keep that in mind. Obviously, there's some vintage cards that have lower gem rates, but out of these modern Scarlet Valley cards, I don't know why it's way worse than even the Kirlia. So yeah, I definitely am not surprised by this price. And this multiple, if anything, can get crazier if these next few cards are anything to go off of. Ninetales, right? Seems to be everyone's favorite card lately in Obsidian Flames. A lot of YouTubers love this card. So right now it's 34 USD, around 34 USD in raw. In PSA 10, consistently selling for 350 USD, which is nice to see. And so you have a 10.6 multiple on that one. So even more than the Ralts. And honestly, right now it's more consistent than the Ralts at 350. So definitely a good multiple there. And I do think like that raw is lagging behind. I do think it's going to make moves. Now, I don't try to time anything perfectly because you never know what could happen. Like we could have a market crash suddenly, and obviously that won't make sure it goes up. But long term, that Ninetales raw is definitely going to make some moves. Marill is also a huge one. So we see that it hit 34. It found some support, and now it's at all-time highs. 37 for the raw. And then we have here 400s and up. So 420, we'll say, with the latest sale from PSA. And that is a whopping 11.35 multiple right there for the Marill. So if let's say these cards are going to eventually reach that Magikarp 1 or the 6 multiple, then that means really good things for the raws, right? If these PSA 10 prices can maintain and that Magikarp number is anything to go off of, then we're going to see all these raw prices rise. However, maybe the Magikarp PSA 10 is undervalued right now. I do love that card, so we'll see what happens with that. Next, we have one of my favorites, the Pikachu Pokemon Center promo from the Paldea Evolved Elite Trainer box. So only 110 here for the raw and 1,300 for the PSA. So we have 11.8 multiple right there. Again, a sign that this raw could definitely go up if these prices maintain. Everyone's favorite, right? Drowzee. Oh man, I'm so glad I picked this up in a PSA 10 before everyone started making a video about it. But it's still not that surprising at all, this raw price. I said when there was like less than half this, I said that it was likely going to go up in price, and it skyrocketed in price. But it's still, if it wants to get to that Magikarp multiple, if you look at latest sales, it still has a ways to go up. Because look at this. If we see this, we have 800 for PSA 10, and then we have 950 for PSA 10. So I use that 950. Obviously, if you guys want, you could use the 800. Here's 870. I wouldn't be surprised if we see some sales with all these YouTubers talking about it in the near future for even higher numbers, honestly, but we'll see. So we have the higher sale divided by the raw price, so 12.18 multiple right there. Huge. Now, if you guys do enjoy these kinds of videos, if you're enjoying this video, hit that like button, a reminder to subscribe so I don't forget. And thank you. Let's move on to the top 5, I believe. So we have here Mewtwo. Very impressive here. I love this card when it came out. It gives me a Batman Mewtwo vibe, and Mewtwo is like my favorite Pokemon, along with Ninetales. And then you have Batman, who's by far my favorite superhero. So this kind of nighttime gothic Mewtwo staring over the city, I definitely love the vibe. I think it's underrated, especially when you look at the Mew promo. And I think that PSA 10 price is starting to tell us the same thing. So here it's 17 USD. And then for the PSA 10s, this one could have been more. We don't know for sure. But you have at least like 211, 240. Let's see which number I used here. I used 211, right? So if I use the 240, it would be even bigger multiple. But right now we have a 12.31x multiple. Crazy stuff. I did pick up a PSA 10 of this a little while back. And yeah, I'm glad I did. I'm surprised I didn't have it, but I have so many raws, which looking at this, I think will go up in price. But I have so many raws, like 12, that I didn't really feel the rush to get a PSA 10, but I finally did before it gets even crazier. Then we have the Charmander Pokemon Center exclusive promo, right? So already really expensive in near mint, 152 USD. But we have 1,600 and 2,000, which is the one I used, right? I told you guys I used the high sale. You know, easy for you guys to figure out the 1,600 if you'd like. But with the 2,000, it's a 13.16 multiple. Absolutely insane. Caesar. I got 2 of these in PSA 10 because I believe in it so much. So here you have 17.56 USD in raw. And this one's just shocking. It's been shocking, but up to 240 USD in PSA 10, which gives us a 14.12x, guys. And I have even crazier ones, more than 1,300% up coming your way right now with Pidgeotto. 7, and I got this. I told you guys in a recent pickup video that I did pick up one of these in PSA 10. It's already doubled in price in PSA 10 since then, from what I can see with recent sales. But 7.78 raw price. This one's definitely going up. 122.5 USD, guys. So that is a 15.75 multiple. You're talking over 1,400% difference between the raw and the PSA 10. Right at this point, we're more than doubling the multiplier with the Magikarp. Keep that in mind. And Slowpoke is the star of this show, guys. If there's anything there's to go off of in this video, I think, and again, I'm not a financial advisor. Do your own research. But I think this Slowpoke has a lot of room to grow. And I shouldn't be saying that because I only have 2 and, I still haven't gotten my hands on a PSA 10. But from what I'm seeing, like, I am definitely seeing this card, this raw price growing from here. So you have 24 USD. Recent solds 570 USD for a PSA 10. And mind you, this one is harder to grade than the Drowzee, but easier to grade than the Ralts. So it puts a little perspective into things. But still, guys, it's ridiculous. Look at this. 23.3 multiple. So over 2,200% gain on your card if you get that PSA 10 in perfect condition. Absolutely insane. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed these kinds of videos, you know what to do. Like, subscribe. Thank you so much for 2,000 subscribers. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.